Hi, I will be demonstrating the final project for database system class. My project will be about conference management platform. It currently specifically target consumer type study that happened last year in November 12 and 13, 2021. Um, so currently project is deployed at mngt.code, code, code.page. So if you visit the page, you will be greeting with the main page here, and you will have to be logging in. Currently, the login system is tied with the Ohio University login system. So if you have Ohio University account, you will be able to log in. Well, if you are on the list of allowed people, I will be adding the instructor of this class to the list so you can log in and view the project. But I currently don't have any other people added yet. So if you visit the conferences, right now the website is pre-populated with the imported data from the conference last year. So you will be able to view the detail from the conferences. Currently we have 43 proposal, and I only create one panel for the conference right now. And then you will be able to add uh, more conference by clicking created on it. Let's say we try to add another conference, let's say called 2022. And let's just pick today, for example, from 8 a.m. to, let's say, 6 p.m. So we create that. We will have another conferences, and from this you will be able to order by name, by date and time. Let's say we order by name, but we don't really have a name different. So just gonna go back and order by date and time, the start date. So basically the 2021 version come before the 2022 version. So let's go back to the 2021 version of the conference. You can users should be able to view the proposal. These are the proposal that we imported from the submission file. You can also create an individual proposal using the other name from the imported list as well. And you can also view the individual detail of the proposal. Okay, this one, it didn't clean the data really well, but you can also go to the other older proposal. Okay, so that are some of the example. And you can also delete the proposal. Let's say I create a dummy proposal here, and this one round table. Let's just say Long Gibson. Okay, we have a dummy proposal here, and we can delete it if we wanted to. Okay, and so that the proposal side, you can create a new one, you can delete it, you can view the detail of each proposal. We also have a panel. So right now I create a welcome address panel that start at 4 p.m. You can also create a new one. Let's follow the panel that they have here. Let's say it's panel one. If I can, let's just say panel one type history. And that is starting at 4:30 p.m. That is in November of last year. That is 4:30 p.m. And I think it went for 60 minutes with a gap of 5 between each presentation. So we create a new one. And then you will be taking into the detail where you can edit the detail, and you can also add the presentation um, to the panel. Let's see what group. Let's see what we have. So I believe we have Dr. Jan. So let's try searching for her. Okay, we have the share legacy, one of them. So I think that's the right one. Yeah, share legacy. So we drag it here, and then uh, the intended design is that you can save, and then this will be saved into the proposal. But right now, with the limited time, this functionality is not complete yet. But that's the future that we want to move on to. And then you can edit the detail. Let's say we want to increase the gap from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So that is that. So that's the functionality that we have right now. So let's move on to the code portion of the presentation. Let's pull up the list of the. So right now the system is deployed, and as you can see, let's look at the code. So here, so the main concept or the core idea that highly related to the class is that the model where we are using the SQL Alchemy library to perform an ORM mapping, object relation mapping between the class in OOP world, object-oriented programming, and the table or relation in the database world. So we basically map the conference from an object form into a table. So we specify the table conference, and we specify the primary key as ID. We add the date time column for create and modify, and then other information. We also specify the relationship where, okay, we have panel within the conference, we have a proposal within the conference, we also have the participant. In this case, the participant is designed to be, you'll be able to add not just the presenter, but you'll be able to add moderators and then guest speaker into the panel as well. So that's the design. Other than the conference table, we have the participant table where we have all the information of the participant, whether or not they are presenter, guest speaker, or the moderators. And then we have the core idea itself with each proposal, and also the relationship between the participant and the panel itself. So most of the relationship is one to many, and the main one that are relating between the panel and then the proposal is many to many, where we have a panel related to the proposal via a special table called participation. So, and this table have a custom attribute where you have a panel ID related to the participant ID with the role and order. So before this, we see a little bit of the output from the app. So we can get, okay. So you can see that I enable, usually I leave it disabled, but with SQL Alchemy, the SQL statement generation is up to the library itself. Although you can do multiple way of query. So you have like multiple form, and I try to stick with the basic form where you write the query yourself, which is clearly close to how you write the SQL statement yourself or manually. But with SQL Alchemy, you'll be able to perform a more natural language level where you, for example, we have this query here where we try to select the conference where the slug field is equal to the slug field. So the slug field is this portion right here. That so that you don't have to like remember the ID of the conference. So you'll be able to do something like I want to access the detail for COD 2022. Okay, and it seems like okay, it's case sensitive. So try that again. So see COD. Should be case sensitive. So COD 2022. Okay, so user will be able to type the name of the conference itself into the system, and then it use that to get the correct conference information to the user, or they can just use the UI, the list page, and click the detail on the conference to get to that. But okay, back to the point of this query. So that is one form of the query where you specify that you want to query from the conference object, and then you tell the library to filter by slug field equal to the input slug from the user. There's another way where you can build the statement using the function that they have. So this one will be more akin to what we study in class, where we specify that we want to select from the conference, the we select operators, and then we specify the where clause for the select statement, and then we execute that statement, convert it to the object form, and then we tell the library that we just want the first one, and then we get the conference object. And I think we also have some other form where we want to query a more complex query for the app, where we want to get the list of proposal. And so in this case, we select the proposal, and since the order of the proposal doesn't store directly in the proposal, let's see, let's go to the proposal. As you can see here, we store the order as a separate table, and we just refer to them using the order ID. So in this case, to be able to get the proposal as well as the order who write the proposal, we want to select from the proposal itself and then join that with the participant. And to be able to get the right one, we then apply the filter that said, oh, we want the proposal within the conference. And then in this case, this endpoint is the set proposal. It is the one handling, okay, that's the 2021. Oh, that's 2022. Okay, let's go to the 2021. So let's say if I search for myself. So that result right there coming from this endpoint, where it's actually filtered the conference, and then across three different fields, we check if we have the right content. So we will be able to set by the title, by the first name of the author, and last name of the author. So in this case, I set by the first name, and if we want something about network, we can also search, and then you can see that that network right there is the title of the proposal, and it gets filtered into the result. So that is a little more complicated statement that we have in the project. The next one is the modifying. In this case, the library itself have a little more abstraction. So what we have to do is just define a form, and then when the user modify the form and they click save, it gets sent back to the backend system, and then the backend just get the exiting object from the table out, and then it just tell the form to populate the chain into the table, and then we commit the change into the system. So let's actually try to modify one of the conferences. So let's say edit this one. Let's say adding register can be done. Add https://2021.page. So let's update that, and let's take a look at the generated query from the app. So basically we visit the page. Let's see, we have select again. Let's see if I can find the okay, here. So that is where we visit the edit page, and then the user posts the update information back to the server, and then the way you interact with the library is to just say, okay, we update the conference object with the form, and then we just commit the session. But in the back end, the library itself take that information and said, oh, the object itself will change. So we're gonna do the update statement on the conference table, and then set modify to the I think this form is the uh, P format SQL statement. So modify equal to the variable and then description variable and conference ID variable, and then it feeds the data to the statement itself, and then there's commit. And so that is how the SQL, the actual statement, is being generated with the library. And while we are here, we should be able to see. So here is where we select the conference detail. So as you can see, when we update the detail of the conference, we get sent back to the list. So this list is basically select all record from the table of conference. So that what we are seeing here, we select almost every attribute from the conference from the from the conference table itself. And in this case, that's the detail. That's the select one object because we have where statement there. And I think the actual one is here. So that is the actual one you see on the list page. On this page, the query for that is this one. We select every attribute from the conference, and then we also order by the conference begin, and then we limit and offset it. So so that's the one of the query. Also, a little more complicated query is when you view the proposal. So basically, you can just select everything and view everything. But in this case, we limit the number of proposal to about 20 or 10. So in this case, you have an option to view another set of proposal at 10. But to implement this, we need to have a limit and option. So let's see if I can get the. Okay, we have list proposal. So in this case, we have a little more complicated query. We've seen this before where we select the actual conference. So we have to have that so we can scope down other query to just the current conference that we are interested in. And this statement is to be able to determine how many proposal we have. So basically we select we using the function to count the record from this statement where we have select proposal, and then with the conference ID that we are interested. And this one, to handle the deletion of the proposal, the app is actually just remove it from the view, but the content is still there. So it will be more helpful in terms of data analysis for the business side, but I just leave it there in case of people actually accidentally delete, and we might want to add a new feature where they can recover the deleted portion of the data. But because we just set the fact for the proposal to be deleted, but we don't actually delete it, so these have to be there to filter out all the deleted proposal. So when we get the total, we also select again. This time, we calculate the offset and limit, where we be able to, instead of display everything, we can do a dynamic load, and that will be more helpful when we have a lot of proposal to look through. Instead of showing everything and waiting for the database to query for a long time, we just select a portion of the data on there. And it's have the same set of the query as the total statement, but then we order by the created there. And then after that, we set the offset and limit the number of record that return from the table. So in that case, I think we refresh the log here. We should be able to see it. And that look like just the detail for the participant. Oh, one thing is that we specify, I think we specify the proposal to also get the author. So what you see here is that it tried to select a lot of author from the participant. In this case, instead of using joy, what happened is that to be able to display the name, for example, Alan Potkin here, to be able to display that name and it's in another table, what it actually do is that the library itself, when you try to access the other name, it actually send another request out to the database, and then when the result get back, you get the name of the others, and that happened behind the scene. But what we can do is also to, I think uh, in some other library is called PFish. But in this case, let's see if we can find it. So that is select component. I think it's something about content. No. I forget the name, but you'll be able to specify that, oh, we want to let the library preface all the data from the related object. Or you can manually carve the query so that you join both proposal and participant together to get the author name as well, and then you can use that later on. Let's see. So that are mainly the core concept of the code. So that should cover most of the stuff, but I don't think we have anything else. Oh, the import functionality, let's touch on that a little bit. The on the proposal for the final project, I would like to have ability for the user to import directly from the website, but we don't have enough time to implement that features. So what we have, if you go back to the DB, Oh, so this is where the all the create table stuff is generated by the library. So we have the definition of all the model or all the table in terms of database. We have all the table defined using this file right here. And then to be able to run, we need to run the command that basically create all the table from that model, from all the model that we have. So this is where it is responsible for the table generation. And this function is where we actually import from an Excel file. The functionality is there, and that is how I import the conference for COD 2021. But we don't have the UI capability yet. So basically, it's read the Excel sheet, and then for each of the conference, it create the conference object with all the detail, and then it add to the table, and then write that to the database using the session commit. Okay, that have to be parentheses there. Okay, and then it actually read all the data from the Excel sheet, and then create a participant, create the proposal that they have, and then it adds all this stuff to the database and then commit that data to the database. So after you run this command, it will be populate the database with all the data from COD 2021. And that should be the generation on that side. Also unrelated to that, um, and that should be all from this side, I believe. So that should be the end of the database portion of the code. Some notable stuff that I add is to be able to deploy, we actually just run the application using systemd, and we use the Unicorn web server, and also in the back end we use Nginx as a web server that basically redirect the. Let's see if we can pull up the configuration out on the website available identity. So when the request hit the web server, is actually passing the data to the web application itself, and then that web application process what you've seen so far, and then it's respond back to the server, to the client, and the whole thing is hosted on VM on DigitalOcean, and the domain itself is managed by Cloudflare, where we can add the MNGT to the existing top level domain. Oh, and then the account logged in. Let's see if we can show that part. It is basically to be able to log in using your Ohio University account. We create an app on the Azure portal. Okay, that should be the correct one. If we sign in with the correct account, and go to app registration. And what we have here is the conference management platform. I have another app for the research portion of the thing. So basically, we create an app on Microsoft website, and we define the some of the URL. As you can see, the one that we're using is this one, and then other stuff is the testing portion. So you can log in even though you are a developing server. So basically, it's used OAuth 2 authentication, where when you click log in. Let's log out on that. And let's see if we can cache the redirection. Oh, we can't cache it. Um, let's attempt that again. Let log out from that. And clear that part, log in. Okay, so basically when we try to log in, we go to the, oh, maybe I should not show the detail there. And that, okay. Let's go to the login page of our app, and then it redirect to login.microsoftonline.com, and then we already have the login session, so it come back to our app. Let's see if I can log out and show you exactly when it actually log in. We attempt to log out of log out from the app itself, and let me log out from the email, and then you can see that it actually redirect to the Microsoft. If I can log out, I can log out at the moment. Okay, there we go. Sign out. Okay, now I should be signed out, and if I click login, it's actually logging. Oh, I haven't signed out yet. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. So when we click login, it actually redirect to Microsoft Online. You can click the account that you want to use. In this case, the app is also checking for. It's also checking that you actually have ohio.edu account. So here, when you get to back from the Microsoft, it actually check whether or not you have the permission to access the app. Later on, I will add instructor email to that. So if you want to check, log in, you can log in using that. So now we sign in with the Ohio University account. The app will allow you to get back to the app itself. And I believe that should conclude everything from now. Oh, and the video will be published on YouTube, and the uh, application itself will be on, let me get the right one, will be on GitHub organization for the Coursera Pi study, and then it's under management platform. And you should have all the information. You can also clone it down and try it yourself. We have some note here for how to run it on a local development server, and also the node that I used to deploy it to DigitalOcean VM. And the step is basically there, and should be replicated. You should be able to replicate it easily. Although I didn't list the domain and stuff like that, that should be easy enough to find on Google. And yeah, that should conclude the demonstration video. Thank you for stopping by.